Are you a greedy person? Would you slay a loved one for a most precious treasure? That's what one dwarf did in an ages-old Norse legend, only to wind up paying the ultimate price. Many of our dragons have gone missing, yes, but this cursed beast is not one of them. Keep watching, and you'll soon learn why. Greetings, spectators of myth, and welcome once again to another of our videos exploring Norse mythology and legends in how to train your dragon. This awesome movie franchise features many Viking warriors and dragon beasts, but did you know that much of its inspiration comes from the tales of the distant past? And it's there that our journey takes us once again. The Dragon Fafnir. Odin, the all-father of Norse myth, had compensated the dwarf king with treasure for the loss of a son. But, spectators of myth, it came with a price. You see, Odin was accompanied by Loki, the trickster god, and one should always think twice when accepting gifts with Loki present. Well, you see, Loki had vexed the treasure with a most horrible curse, and soon it took hold, but not on the dwarf king. The spell had bewitched his son, the dwarven prince Fafnir. The treasure was vast, spectators of myth. There was more than enough to go around for all. But despite that, Loki's magic had all but doomed these dwarfs. Prince Fafnir soon became filled with greed and wanted the treasure for himself, and so he took his father's life. The dwarf king was dead, and Fafnir had the loot all to himself. But as you'd expect, spectators of myth, this tale of patricide is not without its consequences, as the treasure's curse persisted. Fafnir became obsessed with guarding his hoard of treasure. He spurned those closest to him, including his brother, the dwarven prince and blacksmith Regin. Fafnir was driven mad with paranoia. The prince truly believed that his treasure could vanish at any moment. So one day, consumed by the curse, he traveled into the wild and returned not as a dwarven prince, but as a massive snaking dragon. Fafnir was determined to rid the land of all of its inhabitants, and that's exactly what he did. He breathed his madness upon the land in a frenzy of dragon rage. The fire of Fafnir's lethal toxic breath contaminated all it touched, and so the land was empty and its people gone. Fafnir and his treasure were all alone. But let's take a break for a minute. We reckon that for many of you, this legend of greed and karma is sounding very familiar. It's almost Tolkien-esque and Hobbit-like, yes? That is because Tolkien's The Hobbit was very much inspired by the legend of Fafnir. Indeed, spectators of myth, Tolkien himself absorbed many aspects of Norse mythology as a child. Back then, he was an avid reader of Viking lore, and that is very much reflected in his stories. In fact, Tolkien is said to have translated many Old Norse texts in his free time when he was a young boy at King Edward's School in England. And from those myths, he drew inspiration and crafted many of the greatest works of fiction the world has ever known. This, spectators of myth, is important, and why we believe our channel and mission is so important. These ancient stories are timeless and can be found everywhere. They inspire creators, who in turn craft their own tales that inspire other creators of future generations, and so the cycle continues. But back to the story of Fafnir, and how he ultimately met his doom at the hands of a legendary hero. In some tales, the hero is the Germanic champion Siegfried, but in Norse lore, he is Sigurd. And since our focus is that mythology, we shall be calling the hero just that. Fafnir's greed and paranoia had consumed him. Eventually, the curse had robbed him of all of his faculties and had left him with nothing but a dragon's rage. Fafnir's brother, the blacksmith Regin, still yearned after the treasure. His mad dragon sibling was a beast this smith could not best. However, Regin's student, the warrior Sigurd, probably could. Regin coaxed Sigurd into this task, but the warrior asked for only one thing: an epic sword. Yet that the dwarf could not fashion. Seeing this, Sigurd retrieved the broken pieces of his father Sigmund's sword. Regin repaired it, and Sigurd got to work. That blade was Gram. The legend of Fafnir is perhaps its most famous appearance, but this sword, spectators of myth, has a history. In fact, the blade was broken by Odin himself. But that is another tale. But for now, it is Fafnir's turn. The warrior dug himself into a pit and waited for Fafnir to pass over. And when the dragon did come walking, Sigurd pierced his heart. Fafnir was slain, and Sigurd was victorious. Or so it would seem. Regin still wanted the treasure for himself. Share it he would not. So he bade Sigurd to cook and eat the heart of Fafnir. The warrior did just that, and was granted the ability to talk to animals. Some passing birds told him that Regin planned to betray, then slay him, and take the treasure for himself. Sigurd, however, drew steel and acted fast. And so the curse claimed the life of Regin too, and it is there our tale comes to a close. Did you enjoy that longer video? We're aiming to make more of these in the future. Please do tell us if this is something you enjoyed, and if you want more. Remember to subscribe and ring those mighty bells of notification. And not that you need to, but sharing and liking our stories always helps the channel. And once again, spectators of myth, this isn't goodbye. This is just until the next mythical video.